Hi, if you have neck pain while you're working at your computer, I have some tips that can help. My name is Roxanne Meldrum and I'm a physical therapist with PT Health Academy. Please, before we get started, do like and subscribe as this really does help my small business grow. Thank you so much for your support. First, to relieve your neck pain while you're sitting at your computer, you need to ensure that your setup actually fits you. I'm using this setup as I suspect that this is what many of you are using at home or something similar. Let's look at some pointers to consider. First, to determine if your chair is fitting you, slide all the way back into the chair, sit up nice and tall so your ears, shoulders, and hips are in line, and then when you go to relax, how far do you sink? Like, clearly this chair is not fitting me. It doesn't support me in that good alignment that I'm aiming for. You can add a towel roll or a wedge cushion or a big pillow behind you to help the chair fit you better if you find that you're really sinking into it. I find that this towel roll works well to give me the support I need to stay in the alignment I am aiming for. Unfortunately, this chair is too short for me because when your arms are dangling from your sides, your elbows are at 90 degrees, the keyboard should be right where your hands fall with your elbows at 90 degrees. And you can see that this chair is too low and the keyboard is too high for me. And I can't use a slide out tray because I have a drawer. Now, if I had a separate setup with a separate keyboard, I could put the keyboard in my lap, which would be better than lifting my hands towards a keyboard that is too high. So instead, I switched to the wedge cushion to raise me up a little bit, but that required a little bit more support behind my back now, again, to support me in that ears, shoulders, hips position. Now when I bend my elbows to 90 degrees, I can set the keyboard right where my hands fall. The final thing to consider is where the monitor is at. You can see that with my monitor being so low, I have to scrunch down or I'm going to end up looking down to look at the monitor. Even if I tip it up, my eye gaze downward eventually is going to round me forward. This is essentially the issue with a laptop. If you set the keyboard where it needs to be, then the monitor isn't right. And if you set the monitor where it needs to be, the keyboard is no longer right. So if you spend long periods of time on a laptop, you are much better off getting a docking station or a separate monitor so that you can alleviate that issue. Now, once you find a desk setup that works for you, step number 2 in relieving your neck pain while you're at your computer is to get up frequently. I can't stress this enough. Your body is nourished by movement. So when you sit for long periods of time without moving, you're literally starving some of the structures in your body. A good schedule to aim for is to sit for 20 minutes. Maybe you can set up a standing station and stand for 8 minutes and move for 2 minutes. And if you do that every half hour, that's a really good schedule to aim for. But I will admit it's a challenging schedule. But what can you do to get closer to that? Maybe you can stand for your phone calls or your virtual meetings. Maybe you can make sure that you set an alarm and get up every 20 or 30 minutes to get out of sitting. Eventually, you're going to find, even in a perfect setup, you're going to tend to round and lean towards your work. And getting up every 20 or 30 minutes when you sit back down, you're going to reset your good posture and return to your good alignment and have a fighting chance to stay here more often through the day. And finally, there are some great corrective exercises to consider adding to your routine to undo some of the deficits that you experience from sitting. For example, your chest will tend to get kind of tight across the front, so we're going to spend some time stretching that. There are muscles in the front of your neck and across your back that get stretched out and weakened from prolonged sitting in a forward head posture, and we're going to work to strengthen those muscle groups. And my favorite thing is to foam roll your upper back because those joints tend to get really stiff and you get stuck rounded forward. And by foam rolling your upper back, you're actually mobilizing those joints to get them to move better so that you can achieve that good alignment that you're aiming for. Let's take a minute to look at those exercises. To strengthen the muscles in the front of your neck, you're going to try a chin tuck head lift. Here's what it looks like. You're going to tuck your chin just a little bit and then lift your head up off the floor about a paper's width distance from the floor. And you're going to aim to hold that for about 30 seconds. But if you've never done this before, you want to start with just like 5 or 10 second holds and work yourself up over the course of a few weeks. So tuck your chin, lift just a little bit. You should feel the work in the front of your neck. If you start to feel it in the back, use your hand to take some of the load off of your neck.
So again, if your head weighs 8 to 12 pounds, maybe you only want it to weigh 5 or 6 pounds to start with. Set a timer. When it goes off at 30 seconds, you can release your head back down. Or like I said, you can start with 5 to 10 seconds at a time. A foam roller is a great place to do a nice chest stretch, to stretch those muscles and open up your chest if you find that it's tight and rounded from sitting for long periods. Sit on your foam roller with your butt and your head hitting. Your palms are up. You're going to let your arms just rest on the floor, and then drag your arms up to the sides until you feel a decent stretch across your chest. Once you're in that position, you're just going to do 3 or 4 nice, long, slow, deep breaths. And on each exhale, try to sink into the foam roller a little bit. If you find when you're on the foam roller that your head is tipping back to hit, please put a towel or a pillow underneath your head to give it some support. Dropping into that position and staying there for long periods of time is not going to do your neck any favors. Kitty. I love foam rolling for loosening up your upper back. Your upper back will get tight if you sit for long periods of time. It gets tight with aging, and a tight upper back can negatively impact your neck, your shoulders, your low back. When you foam roll your upper back, make sure to clasp your hands and hold your head always. You're going to roll from the base of your neck, or the bump at the base of your neck, down to about just below your shoulder blades, and you can roll 10 to 12 times. Please do not roll into your low back, as it's really hard on that area of your spine.
Let's look at a couple stretchy band exercises to strengthen your upper back. First, start with your palms up. Lay the band across your palms and grip. Keep your elbows tucked to your sides. You're going to roll your hands out to the sides while you focus on pinching your shoulder blades together in the back on every rep. Please be cautious though that you're not arching your back with every rep to try to get those shoulder blades in. Keep your belly button tucked and avoid the arching as you pinch your shoulder blades together. That's one exercise. The second exercise, you're going to flip your palms down. Arms are relatively straight. Keep your elbows unlocked. You're going to open up the bands until it hits you in the chest. And again, of course, with every repetition, you're really focusing on pinching those shoulder blades down and back behind you. When you're working on strengthening your upper back, a good place to start is 3 sets of 8 to 10 reps. These tips are a great place to start if you're having neck pain while you're working at a computer. But I warn you, please don't skip the steps. Make sure that your station fits you. Get up frequently, then try the exercises. If you found this video helpful, please like and subscribe, and watch out for my future videos addressing neck pain while you're working out and neck pain while you're looking down. Thank you so much for listening.